Hi, welcome to another episode of Mental Health TV. I'm Jim Haney, the Executive Director of Montana's Peer Network, and today we're going to be talking about wellness recovery action planning. And we have a couple of guests with us here today. We have Michelle Lewis and we have Robin Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know both of you are well versed in RAP, as we like to say. So let's start off by telling our viewers, what is RAP?
RAP actually stands for Wellness Recovery Action Planning, and it's actually a plan for recovery and wellness. It's structured, and it's written by the individual, where they, implement strategies to reduce distressed feelings, and it actually can eliminate them.
Okay. So when we talk about the individual writing the plan, so who would write that plan? Who would this be geared towards?
Well, our peers, obviously, and consumers, but it's been used for a lot of other different venues as well. There's actually 7 sections to the plan, and it starts out with wellness tools, and that's kind of the place where we put all of our strategies and the things that we like to do and the things that help us feel well and the things that help us stay well when we don't feel well or get better. And then there's the section on daily maintenance, which is actually 3 parts. And so the first part of daily maintenance is kind of what are we like when we're well, and if we haven't had the chance to be well, what would we like to be when we're well? How would we like to see ourselves?
Yeah.
And then there's the things that we do every day to help keep ourselves well. And this is usually a short list, nothing overbearing, because we use this every part of our plan. And then the third part is what might we do, to reduce the stress in our lives. Nobody likes to go buy the groceries or pay the bills, but those are things we have to do. So.
Correct.
And then after the daily maintenance plan comes triggers. And triggers are the things that are outside of ourselves that may cause us to feel unwell. They're normal reactions to everyday events and circumstances. So if we don't take care of them, they could lead us to feel unwell. Okay. And then the next part of the plan is the early warning signs, or those things that are internal, that could be really subtle and may not even be recognized by ourselves. This is a place where we really enlist the help of our supporters a lot of times.
Okay.
And then the next part of the plan is when things are breaking down. This is a time when things actually may become, dangerous or even serious. So our plan of action there is really narrowed down into a list of things we must do, and with fewer choices. And then, of course, unfortunately, there are times when people slip into crisis.
Okay.
And so we have a crisis plan which has numerous parts. And then we have the post-crisis plan that helps us re-enter into our lives and timetable to resume our responsibilities. Okay. A lot of times people mistake RAP for a crisis plan. And really the first thing to remember is that RAP is a plan for wellness, and it's individualized and written by the person. Right.
And that's really the key, I think. I've been through a few RAP workshops now, and it's written by the individual themselves, right? Instead of somebody writing it for you and saying, well, this is probably what you need to do to keep yourself well. The individual takes the responsibility and actually writes the plan.
Right, and it's completely voluntary. That's another nice thing about it, is that it's you decide, or I decide, the person writing the plan, if they're going to do the plan, what parts of the plan they're going to do, and who they're going to show it to, and if it's going to be something that they show people, and who they show it to, and who they don't.
So who developed RAP, or Wellness Recovery Action Planning?
Well, actually, RAP was developed in a couple of different stages. First, being the inspiration, Catherine Strauss Copeland, who actually spent some time in the hospital, which is Mary Ellen Copeland's mother. Okay. Mary Ellen Copeland actually interviewed peers through survey, and so although Mary Ellen Copeland developed RAP, she credits a lot of the work of the plan to working with the peers. This is a peer-driven peer-driven program.
Right.
But in 1997, when what she actually did was she had these workshops, and in 1997, when she was doing the workshops based on the information she found in the surveys, she got through her workshop, and someone actually said, hey, this is great stuff, but I've been in the hospital all around the country. So how do I implement this into my life? And so those 30 to 40 people stayed behind and made a commitment to write a structure and come up with the structure. And when she felt they had found one, then that's when she created the plan and actually wrote the book that you just were showing, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan book. So after that was done, they needed to have people trained as facilitators, and then she went forth to write the curriculum and also ask a lot of people about the values and ethics that are standard components of the curriculum for training facilitators.
That's great. That's great. So, Robin, let's hear from you. What makes RAP special?
Well, you've hit on what makes it special, and that is that I wrote it. My RAP, I wrote. You know, I decide what to put in it. They're my triggers. It's my action plan. It's a living document, so I can change it as I learn new skills and new strategies. It changes as I change and I grow. It changes, and so you kind of hit on what's most special about it is it's mine. And you know, I look back to my original rap that I wrote 7 years ago and compare it to my rap now, and there's all sorts of changes. I had no animals, for one thing, 7 years ago, and I have 4 members to my family now, and that's included. It's an important part of my recovery plan. Is, you know, if I was to get to a crisis plan, to my crisis plan, then that would be included, would be the care of my pets.
And so it sounds like a lot of flexibility, and as we grow in our recovery, our plan grows.
Yes,
or changes or evolves along the way.
Yes.
I really think that the thing I like about it the most is that I'm assumed to be. It's not a question of whether I learn to be or earn the right to be the expert on myself.
Right.
And so nobody is teaching this to me. It's a tool that I have learned about and use as I see fit. And I really like the RAP plan because it teaches us about several different ways of advocating and things for ourselves to get what we want and need. And so that's one of the key parts for me. And the idea that we communicate as facilitators that recovery is limitless, not only possible, but limitless.
Right.
And that's just a huge thing for me.
Yeah, and that really is the message, that recovery is possible, right? And that's what I think Montana's Peer Network's about. I know Mental Health America, that's what this show is about. It's like recovery is possible, and here's a recovery tool that you might choose to use. You might choose, or at least go check out, well, what is RAP? What is that all about? I think in going to the workshops, like I said, I've been to a couple of them, and I see so many possibilities of how it could be used in life, and things that seem sort of routine or daily maintenance, right? But then there's other things that I know in my own recovery that I just do now that I don't really think about anymore. But there was a time when I had to, or I had to think about that, and I had to make myself this list and say, okay, I need to do this every day because this is what's keeping me well.
Well, and you can find yourself not doing real well, and you can go back and look at it and you go, that's something I haven't done for a long time that used to help me. You know, and it's a good reminder.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's share about the concepts of RAP. What are just some of the concepts that sort of flow throughout?
Well, there are 5 key concepts, and it starts with hope. And as you mentioned earlier, or Michelle mentioned earlier, it goes on the pretense that, or it believes that recovery is limitless. Right. You know, that we can grow. You know, and that so many of us have been given dire predictions for the course of our futures. That's right. And we've been asked to be content with managing our illness or coping with our illness, and we're now being given hope that we can go beyond managing and coping.
That's right.
And
live a full life.
Live a full life. Yes. Recovery is hope.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning, and we need to enrich it and
Right.
hold it and go with that.
Right.
And the second key concept is personal responsibility. And we have to take personal responsibility ourselves. Nobody can do this for us on our journey towards wellness.
Right.
Yes. And the third, as far as personal responsibility, when Mary Ellen Copeland was doing her research, she found that there were two types of people. There were the people that found reasons outside of themselves for their illness. There was some blame that they would find. And then there were people that were busy looking for ways to get well. You know, they were trying this and they were trying that. And those people that were trying different things and eager toward moving towards wellness, they had more life satisfaction.
Yeah.
You know, and they were the ones that moved towards wellness faster than people that were, you know, preoccupied with why they were where they are.
Right.
You
Right.
know, stuck where they're at.
Right.
And the third key concept is education.
Education. Yes.
Education.
Yeah.
And we're big on education at
Yes.
Montana's Peer Network.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's a lot of sources for education there.
Yes.
With the podcasts and webinars and there's your libraries, and education can be so many things. It's not just higher education.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can get all sorts of direction in your life in regards to your relationships, your treatment, your careers. You can go all sorts of information out there.
Absolutely. I think just getting connected with Montana's Peer Network, I mean, just that in itself, you can learn so much from each other, just being connected.
Yes.
You know, the newsletter, like you said, the podcast, the websites, talking to each other. We have conference calls. We have weekly support groups you can call into. I mean, just that alone, and that was, I know a lot of people, just what you said, they think it's only higher education when you say education, or it's only about finding out about my medication, the side effects of my medication. It's really much broader than that. So what's the next concept?
Self-advocacy.
Self-advocacy.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's, you know, going for it.
That's right.
Going
That's right.
for it with courage and perseverance and determination, and going for it can be whatever you feel that you want or you need or you deserve.
That's right.
And so often I think when we have had a history in the mental health system, we forget that we have rights and
That's right.
we have needs, and that it's okay to ask for those needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And self-advocacy is an important tool for our
Absolutely.
wellness.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And the final one is support. And we all need support in our journey.
Yeah.
We need support from family, friends, and our healthcare providers.
Right.
You know, that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Peer support is really only one piece of the bigger puzzle.
Yes, but you know, the peer support is getting it's much needed attention right now, you know, and it's growing, and that's such a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the hope comes from in RAP, is peers we're helping each other, and
That's right.
we, you know, inspire each other with our own stories and our own growth. And another thing with the support, you know, it's not just support through our difficult times, it's support through positive changes we make too.
That's
You
right.
know, positive decisions, risks that we venture out for. We
That's
need
right.
that support there
Absolutely.
too.
That's great. Well, we have about 40 seconds left here. So let's leave people with where can they get information about RAP, support groups, workshops, that sort of thing.
Well, the first place I'd like to direct everyone to is Montana's Peer Network, and they can get to that website, and I believe they've shown this website, but mtpeernetwork.org, or they can get in touch with you at the telephone line of 406-551-1058. If they do want to know a little bit more about Mary Ellen's work, they can also go to mentalhealthrecovery.org
Right.
or copelandcenter.com.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, those are great resources, and I think at Montana's Peer Network we're really committed to RAP, and we put on workshops on an ongoing basis in all kinds of communities across the state, and we really encourage you to get in touch with us and find out where our next one is. We put these on usually at no charge or very little cost at all. We really want people to get there. We're trying to spread the word. And so if you're interested in wellness recovery action planning, get a hold of us, 406-551-1058. Be happy to set you up at the next workshop. And with that, we are out of time, and we want to thank you for tuning in again to Mental Health TV. Please stay tuned for more episodes. And thank you to my guests, Michelle Lewis and Robin Johnson. Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks
Jim.
for having us.